Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a couple of videos today from Adamant Mindset. The first one titled Woke Deranged Women Want to Delete White Men, which is just absolutely insane. It's getting more and more unhinged by the day. Today's videos were suggested to me by Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comment, so make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own thoughts and comments, and let's jump right into the video.
I would go as far to say that I would purchase a Glock, and if you and I are walking on the same street and it's dark out and you're a white male, you have to be white for this to count, okay? If you're a white male, even if you don't approach me, I will shoot you. Yeah, I know. So, has to be on the street, you and I, has to be at nighttime. During the day, not so much, but at nighttime, okay? And you have to have very white skin, and be a male.
Does this woman honestly think that men don't go out at night to complete errands or just go out to enjoy themselves? She thinks that the only reason why men go out is to intentionally harm women. So her response is to purchase a firearm and threaten violence against dudes for the crime of, you guessed it, existing.
Ma'am, why don't you just identify yourself a man and just do that to yourself? Just see in the mirror, you're white as well, just do that to yourself. But leaving the jokes aside, I just want to take a moment, just take a step back and just realize, like, what having no consequences of your actions does to you. Like, clearly she's privileged. She never had any hardship apart from her victim mindset. Just look what happens. Like, they have no idea how laws work.
They think that the laws don't apply to them because they were a vicarious victim to a crime that happened at another place and another time. It wouldn't surprise me if they think that is a usable defense in court.
Like, she probably thinks she can say whatever she wants, but she could get arrested for this kind of nonsense where she's openly saying she wants to unalive a particular section of people. Kind of crazy, right? There's some comments for this you can read, pause and read. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done. If you voted for Trump, I think you're a fucking loser. I think you're stupid. I think you're a moron. I think you're evil. I think that you deserve to die by my hands.
It's amazing to me how anybody who disagrees with her is somehow evil, and yet she's the one who's threatening violence and death. She's the only one calling for massive harm to people, and yet the opposite side is the problem.
More specifically by the rake that's in my hand that I'm using as a bludgeon on your fucking skull. You fucking loser. I'm better than you. You're a horrible person. You don't deserve air. Fuck yourself before I get to you. Do it yourself right now. Reply with a video of you killing yourself. Fucking loser.
Understand that if a man were to do this, he would be arrested for inciting violence, but she does it because she doesn't have to live with the consequences of saying horrible things to people.
How does this not go without saying? But white people, white women especially, at this moment, do not go to your black, your indigenous, your immigrant, your queer, your trans. Do not go to that person in your life that you feel is a little bit more oppressed than you are, because obviously you're feeling fucking oppressed, and ask for, like, help with it. I don't care how you voted. I don't care how fucking hard you worked. I don't care. I don't care. You're not an exception to this. Just so we're clear.
She doesn't care about how other people voted, yet she's furiously condemning anybody who voted for somebody that she didn't like. Normal, rationally minded people do not act this way. This is incredibly abnormal.
I thought it couldn't get too much more reasonably worse today in the spectrum of my emotions towards people who look like me. But then you go and do something and totally blow it out of the water.
This woman has absolutely no idea why she's upset. This massive temper tantrum is only happening because somebody else told her to do it, and she just blindly agreed to it.
how does this not go without saying?
She is why we voted the way we did. How does one film this, watch this, and be like, yeah, let's upload this? I don't know, man. These people are just mentally challenged. And sometimes I get comments saying, this has to be scripted, like no sane person would be this stupid. Glad you're watching this video and this clip because I have some bad news for you. These people are intentionally this psycho.
That's because this behavior has been encouraged and embraced for over the last few decades.
Now that we're all saying what we're thinking, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think if you voted for Donald Trump, you're ugly. I think you're all freaking ugly, and I think you're dumb as bricks. And I think you're a bigot in every sense of the word, every use of the word. I also not only won't care when all the bad stuff that's gonna happen happens to you, I actually want it to happen to you. I want your taxes to go up. I want things to be more expensive for you. I want you to have a complicated pregnancy. I want all that bad stuff to happen to you because that's what you deserve.
Does anybody else appreciate the irony that she's calling everybody who disagrees with her a bigot while ignorantly wishing harm on them for bigoted reasons?
Also, like, the only silver lining is it's actually gonna suck for all you Trump voters way more than it's gonna suck for us blue voters because we actually have educations and good jobs.
You serious?
Y'all are broke as fuck, so it's really gonna suck for you when he raises your taxes a ton.
These women will parade around their college education as a certification for intelligence, but what she fails to realize is that there are countless stories of college students doing profoundly stupid things and yet still getting a degree anyway.
So if he raises the taxes, that's not gonna affect you. And she says they got good job and everything. Let's be real honest, most of you got job just because of the diversity quota and all that stuff. Hope under the Trump guidance, those kind of nonsense just stop and everyone should get job on merit. Let's see what just happens. And here are some comments. As a woman who voted for Trump, I hope nothing but goodness and love in your life. I hope she finds healing.
What's interesting is the one thing these women have in common is that they're incredibly angry and childish. They are wishing nothing but inhuman harm to the other side when the other side couldn't even care less.
So, now that the orange turd has won, we should now rename America Hell, because it is going to be hell on earth once they strip everyone's rights away that is no straight white cis man. So buckle up. Hope you freaking Republicans are happy. I'm out of here.
How many of you honestly think he's going to go through with that plan and leave the country? What's funny to me is how in order to enter into a foreign nation, you need a passport that's issued to you by the same government you're claiming to flee.
Well, it's been rough. It was not what I was expecting at all, considering some of the rhetoric he has said. I thought we as a nation were smarter, but I guess not. To my transgender and friends and, the people who it affects, as long as you stay alive, they cannot say we don't exist. Being a Satanist means rebelling against them because they're wrong.
What does Satanism have to do with any of this? Their thinking is so simplistic that they think that counts as a personality trait.
And as long as you draw a breath, every breath you take is a rebellion. Keep on fighting because you just have to. Hail Satan, hail reason always.
Well, I'm convinced the best way to rebel is to conform to a hive mind. I can't argue with that kind of logic, but to be fair, I can't argue against that logic because there is no logic to be had here.
Come after us. No. Fuck you when you don't get your cheap eggs.
Hey, this is a family environment. Please
I am leaving.
Leave right now. This is a family environment. We're not doing that here. We represent Panera Bread and the brand. I don't care who you voted for, who you love, who you worship. Get out.
I'm not going to have my rights taken away.
Nobody's questioning
Let me just throw away
anybody's
my
right.
garbage. That's
Thank
all
you.
I'm doing.
Please leave these other guests alone. We're not interacting.
It's amazing how these women will put their political beliefs over anything else. She's kicking out a paying customer over this. She's making the business look bad, and she'll most likely get fired over this garbage.
Now that I voted, there's just one person that I really need to tell. I'm walking to their house right now. Hey. How you doing? Happy Election Day.
You too. Yeah. I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Very American.
Yeah. Have a good one. Why did they have to be nice? Just very American.
They're nice because they don't let anger and hate consume their souls. Many people do not feel the need to wish you harm over meaningless talking points.
If you're thinking moving out from the United States just because Donald Trump is the president of the United States now, make sure to call my company. So we will help you out and give you a 50% off. But if you're liberal, gay, or transgender, we're gonna do that for free, just to make sure you're moving out fast as possible. Don't forget to call.
What I find particularly funny is that many of these people who want to leave the country just assume that they can go anywhere they want. At least the passport bros are familiar with another country's immigration laws before they leave.
Can we give props to Kamala though? She ran a really good campaign 100 days though. But I genuinely don't understand why, people think, yeah, let's vote for this guy. He's got great character. He's a fucking criminal, right? I stand with criminals, I guess. Back the blue, except for the felon, right? You hate women, but women also will vote to fucking hate women anyways.
All of these issues can be resolved by asking questions and trying to understand the opposite side of the argument. They just want to endlessly argue and be angry.
I don't think that our beloved country, America, knows what it's in for with a fascistic society and dictator. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being dramatic.
I love it when people dramatically say they're not being hyperbolic or dramatic. They don't live on the same plane of reality as the rest of society. They exist in their own little bubble.
I have said this on tapes before, but I am shocked and crushed at how many people I personally know did not vote or felt like there was no difference between the candidates or just were too self-involved to learn anything about it. And that makes me sad. Just because I live in California and have a lot of protections other states don't, doesn't mean there won't be a federal ban on abortion. And although I know that's sort of funny, me worrying about abortion, but just being a lifelong feminist, I worry about all of it.
She's trying to claim that she cares about something that doesn't even affect her. She has no idea why she's so devastated.
And the fact that the boys should be just as worried, because if you're really living in sort of the Trumpian, Christo-fascist, mega church, I think Trump is stopping child trafficking, QAnon world, then if your son gets a girl pregnant and they're both 15, then you, of course, will force that they marry and keep having as many Duggars as possible. So it's going to be a Duggar America, everybody. Remember how that one ended?
And if you try to get these people to provide proof of these absurd claims, they will immediately turn around and tell you to do the research for them because the proof is quote-unquote obvious.
Good morning. It is November 7th, Thursday. And got my lipstick on today, so I'm a little bit more together. We're putting a plan together. I cannot live in a country that voted for Trump. I cannot spend another 4 years under that man. And so we have made the decision that we are leaving. We're putting a plan together. Our plan is to go back to Australia. And by back, that is where obviously Tam and our daughter Jordan was from. I'm working on immigration paperwork for spousal visa. I'll probably end up going over on a tourist visa initially because the spousal visa takes a while. I'll probably have to leave at some point and go to like Vietnam or Maria, and then come back to Australia waiting for the paperwork to go through.
Why do these people always think the rest of the world cares what they do or where they go? They act like the world is on the edge. I'll read that again. They act like the world is on the edge of its seat to find out more about their immigration plans.
But we're getting quotes on selling the house. We're getting ready. I'm getting quotes on moving boxes to Australia. We're getting quotes on moving our dog and cat to Australia. And we are in the process of selling everything. I'm hoping to be out of here by mid-January. So that's the news. We've buckled up. We've made a decision. We are not spending any more time in America under Donald Trump. There's just no way. And I feel bad and sorry for all the women and all the members of the queer community that are still here, and what life would be like under that person. So take care of yourselves, and I wish all of you the best.
It just goes to show the amount of privilege that these people have. They live in a world where they can freely travel, find people to help them move, and freely sell their belongings, and yet they're so oppressed they feel the need to flee their homeland.
I hate you, you stupid, failed fucking businessman.
So my family is among the people breaking up over this election.
My brother and his fiancée uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. Threw his ass out of the house. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way.
There was a time when you could actually have civil disagreements with other people and not have it end with women openly toying with the idea of cheating on her husband because of the way he voted.
So here's a problem that I have dealing with my MAGA sons. They get very, very offended if I say that I think that they are ignorant to some things, because of their support for this rapist and felon. But here's the thing. I have two choices when I try to understand why they would support an abhorrent human that goes against every value I try to instill in them. Here's my two choices. I can believe that you are ignorant, or I can believe that you are evil.
So this mother has decided the most mature and rational thing to do was to try and shame her own children online and openly call them either ignorant and evil. That's her own flesh and blood, and she's treating them as if they're subhumans.
Well, it's happening. The family wants to know what I'm doing for the holidays. I'm going to be here with my dogs and my daughter, who is of childbearing age and now has to get an IUD at 17 years old. And I'm going to be here with my son, who is a political target. And that should really tell you all you need to know about why I'm not going to be hanging out with y'all for the holidays. So off, choke on your turkey. Bye.
It's interesting how these people who are isolating themselves from their families, throwing swear words and being angry, are the ones who also claim to be the loving and accepting ones.
I hate you, you fucking orange pumpkin. You just costed me one of the most important people in my life. My dad. Donald Trump, I hate you. You will never be president again. You bastard, you costed me my dad. My dad was the most important person in the world to me, but now his colors are finally out. I hate you, you orange pumpkin bitch.
This is not normal behavior. This is how children act when their parents take away their favorite toy when they're acting up. We are witnessing a massive horde of 20 and 30-year-old children who are throwing temper tantrums instead of being mature adults.
I hate you, you stupid, failed businessman. You fucking sicken me. You and all of your Trump supporters. Fuck you.
Yes, smart idea, madam. Spit right into your own phone. That'll show the world that you mean business. I find it rather hilarious that the people who want to leave their country are also completely ignorant to the immigration laws of foreign nations. They just think that because they're Americans that they can go wherever they want and live there forever.
My brother and his fiancée uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump. just want to know what you guys think of the whole entire situation, and if I'm being petty, if I'm being unreasonable. Just to give you guys a heads up, my brother gets free healthcare, my brother goes to school for free, and I helped him apply for all of those government programs. In addition to that, I gave my brother a free BMW SUV.
This woman makes spicy content creation, and she still has the nerve to shame her family over an election, as if her exposing herself to millions of people is somehow the moral high ground.
Makes sense now.
He drives a free car, I pay for his car insurance, and I pay for his cell phone bill. It has now been over a month that I cut my brother off and I no longer answer his phone calls because the only reason he called me anyway was when he needed money. And I know that's really hard to do, and I know right now a lot of people are going to have some very uncomfortable Thanksgivings and Christmases, but at the end of the day, I really encourage you all to protect your peace. I'm not saying that you need to cut out every single person in your life that doesn't agree with you politically, but if after this election someone is literally taunting you, laughing at your face, and disrespecting you, regardless of what political party they are a part of, that person doesn't need to be in your life.
I sincerely doubt that any family members were laughing at her over the election, but regardless, she's literally advocating for people to cut out family members who disagree with them politically.
I'm going to say it because I'm Australian and I live in Australia and I don't have to worry about the Secret Service or the FBI knocking on my fucking door, and even if they did, more than welcome to come over, I'll make them a fucking cup of tea. I wish the bullet didn't miss.
It's kind of sad how these people are visibly frustrated that the life of a man they don't like wasn't taken against his will. This is not healthy behavior whatsoever.
So my parents cut me off for supporting Donald Trump. My family disowned me. My cousins don't speak to me. I'm alone in this world, but you know, it's cool. I'm still going to fight for what I believe in, and I'm still voting for Donald Trump on November 4th. And best believe I'm going to that NYC Trump rally on the 27th. And I'm going to fight for what I believe in. The Democrats love to brainwash black people into thinking that they're the best candidates for this country. But I ain't believing that shit. Make America great again. Trump, baby.
Imagine being completely cut off over your family over a difference of opinion. Imagine your entire family agreeing to ostracize you over it and being perfectly okay with such a decision. That is absolutely messed up.
Just fucking leave me alone.
These women think that cutting their hair is somehow a massive flex against men, when the men they're trying to burn are the very same men they don't even want to talk to in the first place.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way.
Madam, you do not know how men operate. If you kicked your husband out of the house, then his friends are not going to let you hurt him more than you already have. They aren't going to destroy their friendship just because you're a little butthurt over how someone voted.
So last night, I told my mom and dad that because they voted for someone who wants me dead, that they no longer have the privilege of having their daughter and their granddaughters in their life. And I told them, never contact me again. I'm never calling you. I want nothing to do with you. And take me out of the will. I have a younger brother who is also a MAGA. I said, when you guys pass away, give him the entire house. I don't want to inherit your house. I don't want anything from you. I don't want to hear from you ever again because I'm no longer safe being in a relationship with you because I'm queer, I'm autistic, I'm like half disabled, I have Lyme disease and POTS and a bunch of other shit, and I'm bisexual, I have 2 daughters, and my husband's also bisexual. It's like...
None of what she's saying makes any sense at all. She's just assuming that anybody who disagrees with her on a political level is somehow mindlessly wired to want to destroy her, and she thinks this way about her own family.
I'm no longer safe with people like you. You'd be the first ones to turn me into the Schnazis if shit went down here. So I just... And to anyone in the comments that's going to say, oh my god, that's so terrible. The left is so hateful. You guys shouldn't be cutting off your family. You know what? I'm not going to fucking go to Thanksgiving dinner with my family and look them in the eye and just play nice anymore. Like, I'm done doing this. I have been gaslit and neglected and verbally abused by my family for being different my entire life. And I've cut off all my aunts and uncles, anyone who voted for Trump, anyone who's a Christian in my family, I know they voted for Trump.
So even though her family was apparently gaslighting her, making fun of her, and making her life miserable, she decided to cut contact after the election. Sounds to me like they weren't half as bad as she's actually claiming.
Hi, this is a series about cutting off your Trumpy family members. Why do you need to be perfect? Why do you need to consider everyone's feelings and make sure everyone is okay in the situation and watch what you say and say it perfectly and say it right, while they get to say whatever? They get to be racist, mean, awful to you, not respect your boundaries. They get to say whatever, do whatever, never consider your feelings. Why do you need to be perfect? And they get to do and say whatever. Does that sound fair to you?
The amount of ignorance with that one statement is mind-boggling. We could sit here all day and deconstruct the infinite levels of wrong this person is saying. It's enough to make your head spin. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Peace.